Satesh tell us about what kind of challenge that the workforce of Indonesia is facing? We know that in companies like yours, the automation and artificial intelligence are taking parts of a lot of repetitive works that the industry has done. Tell us about your perspective about it.
The way I see the adoption of, for example, AI and automation, it is very similar to when the calculator was born or invented. In that time, everybody was very afraid that a calculator may replace skills of workforce, but it did not, right? In fact, it became integral part of a development of a workforce. What it has contributed is the workforce has become very much more skillful and upgraded in skill sets. So the evolution of technology, in my view, is going to help workforce and not deter workforce to grow.
Okay.
So as an example, if we look at repetitive work that being done by humans today, that's going to be replaced by technology. Where does the humans go after that? You have no way else to go but to upgrade to a more skilled, capable routine of work. Now, in that kind of an evolution, what happens with the general workforce, everybody gets upgraded.
So you see it more as an evolution, right?
I see it as an evolution, certainly. And it's not a degradation of workforce.
And how does your company really take it into account as an evolution and putting a lot of push for the workforce to see it as an evolution, not a threat?
And this is where SKF has always been focusing on people. Developing people and developing skill sets has been one of the primary parameters that we have established within our organization. Continuous training and continuous development of skill set is one of our hallmarks in SKF. So, for example, in Indonesia, we are also looking at establishing a training center that we can use as a training for multiple skill sets, not only for the consumption of the Indonesia market, but something that we can also develop to be exported out. So talent export is something that we are also looking into today. And that's the kind of potential that I see Indonesia can offer, because the talent that we have as a baseline is already much skilled and capable. Is bringing them up to the next level.
Wonderful commitment from your company. And this will be our last question in Teknologi CNBC Indonesia. As from the regulatory framework, are there any government regulations, especially and specifically industrial sectors in Indonesia, that you think somehow actually inhibiting the adoption of technological innovation for sustainable industrial schemes? And how does your company work with regulators to create solutions and fostering more efficient and more effective industrial climate in Indonesia?
So when we look into the government perspective of regulation setups, one of the areas that we continue to advocate is the inclusion of industries like us into policy making. Now, that gives a very fresh mindset to the government of what is happening from a global perspective, what is happening from an industrial perspective, and how these can be adopted into a policy perspective. And I think a lot of efforts are going in the right direction today as compared maybe 30, 40 years ago. I think government today are not so silo-minded and a lot more broad-minded. Looking into geographical expansion of some of the areas of policies that has happened in the past, and continuous effort in this dialogue, I think, is very important. So that industries and policy makers becomes working towards one goal, which is developing the country. And I think that is very important.